right now, I've got Linda from Kalamazoo who's got a trust question. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning.
How can I help?
Okay, my husband and I have a trust set up, but he's become confused, and he's moving money inappropriately. I'm wondering, how do I stop these transactions because he is confused?
By confused, do you mean he has dementia?
I mean that he has been diagnosed with an illness that makes, it's not quite dementia, it's like a heavy metal poisoning, but
Got it.
he is making very large purchases, and a couple of them weren't bad, but I'm going to tell you, we don't have enough money that he can keep doing that.
Right. What kinds of, I mean, you mean by purchases, do you mean investments, or do you mean he's buying the boat and the mobile home and the satellite, whatever?
He's spent about $30,000 in tools, and he's retired.
You'll never get the money out of them, the two things that don't sell at the estate sales, China and tools. Everybody thinks there's a lot of value in those things, but there isn't.
No, that's not why he bought them. He thinks he's going to start a new business. But the thing is, that $30,000 isn't going to hurt us. The next couple of $30,000 is going to take a huge chunk.
You know what, Linda? I got to tell you, most people wait until the fourth $30,000 is gone before they start thinking, hey, maybe I should do something. Good for you. Good for you. Handwriting on the wall and all that. Good for you.
Right. I worked with people with dementia my entire life. That was my job. But getting the doctors to hear me, that was difficult. And now that they're hearing me and they're seeing it for themselves, it's another thing. But, I want him to be happy. These tools make him happy right now. So I'm good with that. But I've got to stop the flow of money out of our account.
Right. So you've got two choices. Number one, several choices, actually. But they fall into two big categories. One is to get him off the trust. He can do it voluntarily. He can do it, two doctors certify in writing he's not competent, right, to make these decisions, and you demonstrate his behavior. And those would be ways within the trust. Typically within the trust, you have ways to replace or remove trustees. Okay, that would be the first thing. The second thing that you could do, the second kind of general area involves probate. Now, you can get a conservator on somebody, even if they're not suffering from dementia, even if they are capable of making decisions for themselves. They're still rational. You can still talk to them. They could explain to you exactly what the business plan is and how these tools are going to be very valuable in making the windmills or the whatever the heck ice fishing equipment. I've seen all kinds of stuff people try to do. It could be used for that, right? So the person is still competent, but you can impose a conservatorship to avoid waste of the property. So when they're making inappropriate decisions like this, it's one of the reasons for getting a conservatorship on somebody in probate court. Okay. So either he cooperates by resigning, you'd want him to cooperate by resigning, or the physician, your doctor, can say, hey, he's not competent. You got to get two of them and remove him as trustee. So now he's not authorized to make these things at the bank. Or then you go the probate route. These are the things that you can do. Now, how do you maintain? And the difficulty is not really that, okay, because you can do that. The question then becomes, how do you maintain relationship in that context, right? Because you're saying one thing, he's saying another. You are removing control, his ability to control a thing. So one of the things that we do, and since the COVID, we've seen a lot of reluctance on the part of physicians, on the part of the people you would expect to declare somebody incompetent. We've seen a lot of reluctance there. So what we're substituting is what we call the disability panel. So maybe, do you have kids? Do you guys have kids?
Honestly, we have a 10-year-old that we've adopted together.
Okay. So it wouldn't be the kids. But people that you have confidence in, and when you're doing the documents, you name, and you already did these because you have a trust, right? So at some point you were doing this. What we do now is, as part of that, is name what we call the disability panel. And so if the disability panel, and these are typically the people whom you've named in your power of attorney for healthcare, right? So you've entrusted.
Right. There are siblings.
Yeah, perfect. So if I can get now you probably don't have this, as a matter of fact, because most people don't do it this way, but we put in this disability panel so that if everybody on the disability panel agrees that the person is not capable of managing the trust, then they can, by consent, it could be majority, could be unanimous, you can remove that person as the trustee. That keeps you out of court, keeps you out of the doctor's office. And because it's the people that he trusts, it's not just, oh, that rotten Linda doing this to me. It's got all the people who love him and he recognizes as loving him, which is why he put them on there in the first place. Everybody agrees. Hey, Bubba, you're doing it wrong. We hate to do it, So you've got options, right?
So you did our trust. So in our trust then?
Yeah. Yeah, in your protection trust.
Okay.
Yeah, and the protection trust is the yeah. Well, give us a call. Yeah, because in your protection trust is the disability panel. Okay. And now we're putting them in all the other trusts, all the revocable trusts and other stuff as well. Because we're running into this is why we're doing the trust review meetings with everybody. We're inviting everybody to come in for your trust review meeting. We're doing those in a workshop setting, and this is one of the changes that we're recommending for people to add on to their trust, not only the trust but also the powers of attorney, because it's getting very, very difficult to get those affirmations. Very difficult to get the doctors to sign off anymore. Not that it was particularly easy, but you could do it. But now it's really become pushing the rock up the hill, to get them to
right. I'm just trying to preserve his dignity.
I get it. Yeah. Well, that's where the disability panel keeps you out of court, keeps you out of the doctor's office. People that you love helping you out. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Appreciate it.
You betcha. Take care.